All right, guys. So it looks like Marvel has announced the cast of Avengers Doomsday. So before we get into the cast, I do need to address what might be the dumbest thing that a company has ever done in order to announce a project. Because listen, we've seen bad like panels or whatever at like the DC showcase, whatever thing that they used to do. I don't even remember what it's called. We've all seen bad E3 conferences. I don't think I've ever seen an entertainment company do something as stupid as what Marvel Studios did today. So they did like this impromptu like announcement live stream thing. And I had no idea this was coming. I don't know if it was reported anywhere, but this was a surprise to me. And my dumbass, I was like, oh shit, okay. Well, and I got my whole setup ready, and I was gonna like record my reaction to whatever this was. And I ended up just like staring at Chris Hemsworth's chair for now it's no longer live. So let's see, how long was I staring at Chris Hemsworth's chair? For like 12 minutes, I think. I was just here staring at Chris Hemsworth's chair. And I'm like, okay, it's starting. Vanessa Kirby, are they announcing the cast of Doomsday? This is me in my head. And I thought, and in my mind, I was like, okay, it's going to keep on panning over to the right. And then for like another 12 minutes, I'm just staring at, at Vanessa Kirby. Like, it's like the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And it's like so funny because I didn't start a live stream or anything like that. But I saw a bunch of other YouTubers start like their impromptu live streams. So it's like, for me, like, and they did this for literally like every name. Like after like 12 minutes, they would just pan to the right and just rest on one name. So when I realized what was happening, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna keep recording. But it's like there are a bunch of YouTubers that like started their live streams and they were like, well, I guess I gotta just sit here and watch this. And it's like, it would be one thing if these were all like new names that we wouldn't have expected to be in Avengers Doomsday, like if they were like new actors that were gonna be in the movie, that were gonna be playing new characters, or just like something like that. But the funny thing is that, to be fair, we do get to some interesting names, and we'll get to them in a minute. But for like the first like 2 hours, I think it was all just like people that we all knew were gonna be in it, like Chris Hemsworth and Anthony Mackie and like Wyatt Russell, and it's like, it's like, yeah, obviously they're like they have been in recent and or upcoming movies. Obviously they're going to be in Avengers Doomsday. It's so, or it's like even if we weren't necessarily for sure going to get Wyatt Russell in Avengers Doomsday, it's like it's not exciting to hear that he's going to be in it. Okay. Either way, look, like, dude, I don't get it. I really don't get it. So I stopped watching. Now I've seen like some of the names that are in it, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So I'm going to watch this 1 minute video, which I assume is just going to be in quick succession, panning across all the names. And I think Robert Downey Jr. is going to say something at the end, but man, one of the dumbest things that Marvel has ever done. And it's like, or I don't know, maybe this worked, because I also haven't really been on Twitter today. Maybe this ended up working in their favor, and like for like 5 hours straight, people were buzzing on Twitter. But I just thought it was lame and cringe. It's like, I don't know. But we'll see what all the names are. So, first of all, Chris Hemsworth, Thor's going to be in the movie. Not a surprise. Like, at where we're at in the MCU, you gotta have some of the OGs in there, right? Thor, one of the OGs. Thor: Love and Thunder, even though a lot of people don't like that movie, made a shit ton of money. he is part of the like a major box office draws, I think. So makes a lot of sense that he'll be in it. Vanessa Kirby, obviously, she's playing Sue Storm in the upcoming Fantastic Four movie. And I remember initially when they just panned over to Vanessa Kirby and then to Anthony Mackie, in my mind I was like, "Oh, is are they only going to have Sue Storm in Avengers Doomsday?" That's actually kind of interesting. But then I saw later on in the video, like Eben Moss Bachrach's name showed up. So it's like, oh no. So again, the most tedious, ridiculous way of even announcing this that you could possibly think of. And it's not even an interesting piece of information. Like like we figured the Fantastic Four were going to be in Avengers Doomsday. Anthony Mackie makes a lot of sense. He is the new Captain America. Of course he's going to be in it. I will say, I don't know that I love Sebastian Stan's name being brought up here. Only because it's like, it would have been feasible for his character to die in Thunderbolts. Like, I mean, of course, we live in the Marvel fake death universe where death means nothing. But still, it's like, he could have heroically gone out in that movie. Like, that's not an impossibility at all at this, stage in Bucky's position in the MCU. But either way, spoiling Thunderbolts, I guess. Okay, this is actually an interesting name, Letitia Wright. Now, there has been a lot of conversation around whether or not Marvel is going to bring back T'Challa. There was that leaked concept art of Damson Idris, I think is the actor's name, as T'Challa, or at the very least as a Black Panther. And so there's a lot of speculation that, after the events of Secret Wars, there is going to be some kind of like, multiverse shenanigans reset that positions a new actor as T'Challa instead of Shuri being the Black Panther of the MCU. And it's like, I've said this before, but I'm very conflicted on it because on the one hand, I've always been of the opinion that you could have just recasted T'Challa. I don't think that it would have in any way been disrespectful to Chadwick Boseman. I think the idea that just because someone dies, that their character isn't allowed to be played by someone else, that it would be disrespectful to do so. I've always thought that was just a ridiculous notion. It's like, in no other job is that standard really applied, right? Like, well, I'm not gonna say no other job. I'm sure there are some jobs that I can maybe think of. Like, anyways, but but you know what I mean, right? Like a McDonald's worker, if they die, guess what? And their position is going to be taken up by somebody new because the work still needs to be done. It's like Black Panther still had a role to play in the MCU. I don't understand, especially when I would argue that killing off T'Challa and not fulfilling whatever story Chadwick Boseman was going to potentially enact and play in Black Panther 2, it's like, I feel like that's more disrespectful if we're going to name any of it disrespectful. Now, at the end of the day, if the ultimate reasoning was it was just too painful for the director, oh god, what's his name, Ryan Coogler, and for the cast, that they were like, man, this is just really emotional for us. I don't know if we can act opposite somebody else playing T'Challa. I don't know if I can direct somebody else playing T'Challa. If it's an emotional thing and they really just wanted to make a love letter to their, to their friend that passed away, then I'm okay with that, right? That reasoning makes sense to me, and I actually really loved Wakanda Forever. Kind of a hot take. I don't love the first Black Panther movie. I think it's pretty overrated. I felt that Shuri's journey of going through grief was just a far more compelling story than what they did in the first Black Panther. So I'm like, okay, you made that decision. Now for them to go okay, well, Shuri's fucking journey through grief, accepting her brother's loss, and then accepting her place as Black Panther. I guess none of that means anything because of multiverse bullshit. Here's another T'Challa. Screw you. Screw you, Shuri, and your emotional journey. Doesn't mean anything because it's Marvel and nothing means anything. No stakes, baby. So, in my opinion, you made your choice. Deal with it. If people, like, I know there are a lot of people that didn't love the second Black Panther movie, then just make a better one for your third time around. I don't think the answer necessarily has to be, like, doing multiverse bullshit to continue lowering the non-existent stakes in the MCU. But anyways, let me get off of my soapbox. Paul Rudd. Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense. I do wonder, like, are they ever going to do anything about Kang? Because we left off of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania with, like, with Kang being, like, a threat, right? Like, I forget what exactly happens at the end. It's, like, similar, I remember, to what happened in Doctor Strange when his face started, like, freaking out. But I think, yeah, like, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania ended with, like, something happening to Scott Lang. So, I don't know. We'll see. They also technically wrapped up the Kang storyline in Loki season 2, so they could, and I'm going to say they will not address it at all. Well, there'll be, like, a line, maybe. But I don't think that they're going to bring back Jonathan Majors. I'm going to say I don't think they're going to recast Kang either. But we'll see. Wyatt Russell. Again, this is also a character that I could have very easily seen dying in Thunderbolts. I don't love the fact that they're just showing us his name. But, oh well, I guess. Who cares about stakes in my movies? Tenoch... What's that guy's name again? Sorry. Tenoch Huerta Mejia. Tenoch? Okay, I don't know. I'm not a good Mexican. Yeah, this is actually an interesting name. I personally was never really even thinking about Namor potentially being in Avengers Doomsday. But I think it's cool that he'll be in it. We're going to get to some X-Men later in the video. Technically, Namor, they confirmed that he is the first mutant in the MCU. No, sorry. Technically, Miss Marvel is the first mutant in the MCU. But they confirmed that he is a mutant. So, I guess maybe they're going to be doing some mutant stuff with him, setting up some X-Men stuff. Maybe with Tenoch or with Namor being in this. I guess he probably will be, like, a good ally to have to fight Doomsday, maybe. Like, I could see him teaming up with Shuri. We'll see. Yeah, the Thing is going to be in it. Makes sense. So, yeah, I will say, this does make me a little less excited about Fantastic Four, because one of the main reasons why I am excited for Fantastic Four is that it is, like, in a different universe, and it is seemingly so detached from the MCU, and it is just kind of able to have its own unique identity. Like, I'm already kind of dreading like us watching, like, a beautiful Fantastic Four movie that's doing its own thing, that's earnestly has, like, an actual vision from an artist, and then, like, at the end, just, like, a bullshit Doctor Strange multiverse portal opens up and they get sucked into Avengers Doomsday. Like, I'll be honest, it does make me a little less excited about Fantastic Four, because I gotta be real, man. I cannot bring myself to be excited about multiverse stuff at this point. Like, listen, I'm not above it. I'm not above fan service. I was with all of you, right? When No Way Home happened, and Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire came out of portals and stood still for 15 seconds in order to give the audience time to applaud. I was right there with you. I was soying out, but it just doesn't do anything for me anymore. You know, like Deadpool and Wolverine did not do much for me. I can't bring myself to get excited about this stuff at this point. I just want good content. You know what I mean? Like like I thought like aside from like the multiverse stuff in Deadpool and Wolverine, I thought it was a middling movie. I thought the cinematography was bland. I thought the script was lacking. The editing was bad. The villain was bleh. Like I want a great movie. I don't just want like an excuse to have actors I recognize coming out of portals. And so, you know, well, we'll see. Again, I'm not excited for this movie, but I am hopeful, or I hope that it will be like the Spider-Verse movies, where they are so good. I hope that this movie is so good that it like weakens my multiverse defenses. That's a dumb way of saying it, but you know what I mean. Simu Liu. Yep. Shang-Chi. Glad he's finally in something. Yeah, man. Like, can I just say this as well? There's always like so much dismissiveness of a lot of the new characters because a lot of people are like, man, these new heroes like Shang-Chi and whatever, like I don't know, Miss Marvel and like the new batch of heroes, they just don't hit as hard as the OG characters. And it always annoyed me because I feel like Marvel's biggest mistake post Endgame is, well, their biggest mistake is just making way too much content to where like quality control was just not a thing. But their second biggest mistake is just the fact that they never made a normal Avengers movie. Because when you go back to phase 1, I would argue the only character that became like a powerhouse character, like just right off of a solo film, was Iron Man. Captain America was not that big, the first Avenger. The first Thor movie was not that big. The Incredible Hulk movie was definitely not that big. It was not until that first Avengers movie where we saw the magic of everybody coming together, where we saw like, their relationships and their chemistry, that we really saw like that we really all like truly fell in love with the MCU as a concept. So it's like it's so upsetting to me that people will like dismiss a lot of the new MCU characters when it's like they were never given the opportunity to create magic by making an Avengers movie. There should have been a smaller scale Avengers movie. And when I say smaller scale, I mean where like only Earth is at stake and not like the entire universe or the entire multiverse. And have Simu Liu and Anthony Mackie and, Brie Larson and Iman Vellani, like give them the opportunity to shine on it, like in an Avengers team. I don't know. Just, it is just so disappointing that they're like the first time that these characters are able to like shine in an Avengers movie is in a weird multiverse movie that's like trying to be the conclusion of the multiverse saga, even though Marvel has done a horrendous job of even setting any of this up. Like at this point in Infinity War and Endgame, we had already had the first Avengers movie and the second Avengers movie to set up these characters and their relationships in a way that make us invested in the big, massive crossover event. Avengers Doomsday has to do the job of the first Avengers movie as well as Infinity War. So anyways, again, getting off my soapbox. I'm excited to see Shang-Chi back. Florence Pugh, again, a character that absolutely could have died in Thunderbolts, but now we know isn't going to. I don't know. Weird decisions, but it is what it is. Okay, so this is an interesting one. Kelsey Grammer, of course, played Beast in the Fox X-Men movies. He is now going to be playing Beast in Avengers Doomsday. He also showed up in the post-credit scene of the Marvels, which none of you saw, so none of you knew that. And yeah, I guess he's gonna be in this. I wonder if we are gonna pick up on that post-credit scene, and it is going to be that version of the character, or if we're gonna ignore that post-credit scene and that it is just going to be the versions from the Fox X-Men universe. We shall see. Lewis Pullman, he's playing Sentry in Thunderbolts, another character that isn't going to die. Although, to be fair, I never actually expected Sentry to die because I don't actually know a ton about the character. I just know that he is an important figure in the MCU, so I never really expected him to die in Thunderbolts. Danny Ramirez, he of course plays the new Falcon. So, yeah, that's cool, I guess. Not really much to say. Joseph Quinn, he is playing the Human Torch in Fantastic Four. David Harbour, he plays the Red Guardian in Thunderbolts. Character that absolutely could have died, but now we know is not going to. Winston Duke, he played Big Boy in M'Baku in the Black Panther movies. Yeah, he's really great. Like, the actor, the character hasn't necessarily been given a ton to do, but that actor is really great, and he's always he's always been a fan favorite. So excited to see him. Hannah John Kamen? I have no idea who this is. All right, Hannah John Kamen. Oh, she plays Ghost in Ant-Man and the Wasp, as well as Thunderbolts. So yet another character that we know is not going to die. Oh, Tom Hiddleston. Okay. I did not know that was confirmed. So Loki is indeed going to be in this. Of course, we left off Tom Hiddleston being like the god of time or whatever at the end of Loki season 2. So I'm assuming that Doctor Doom is, because he's like holding the time stream together, right? Like, he is essentially the keeper of time. So I assume that Doomsday is probably going to start off, or at least very early in the movie at some point, we're going to see Doctor Doom mess with Loki. Probably not going to kill him. Although maybe, I don't know. I think we're going to see Doctor Doom like mess with whatever is going on with Loki. And mess with the multiverse. So we'll see. Although I actually never quite understood. Because, wait, the whole thing with the sacred timeline. Yeah, I think there are different universes, right? But there are only like selective universes that Kang allowed, or else like multiversal war would start, right? So it was like something like that. So there are multiple universes that are on the sacred timeline, but if you deviate from what is allowed, then multiversal war starts. I think. Will any of it ultimately matter? Who knows? God, multiverse sucks. The concept sucks. It sucks. I hate it. Patrick Stewart. I did see this earlier. So yeah, we're definitely getting the Fox X-Men stuff. Kind of a weird thing that they ended Deadpool and Wolverine with like that farewell montage video to the Fox X-Men universe, but they're just back in Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. Yeah, I always thought that video was weird. Like, it was very nice, but I was like, we know that all the people that weren't in this movie are going to be in Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. Like, why are you using this now? Although, to be fair, that like a montage like that, it fits more in Deadpool and Wolverine than I think it will fit in an Avengers movie, to be fair. Ian McKellen too. Are they doing the X-Men 97 theme? They are. Dude, that is hilarious. That is hilarious that the that like they're using the X-Men 97 theme and not whatever bullshit theme they did in the Fox X-Men movies. I don't even know what it sounds like, quite frankly. But honestly, kind of based. Cuz who even knows what the theme of the Fox X-Men movies were? Yeah, Ian McKellen, Magneto is going to be in this. Gosh, they're so old though. Like, not to be that guy, but how old are they? Like, let's see, Ian McKellen. He's 85 years old. Don't get me wrong, it's going to be cool to see them in it, but like, also, should we maybe be letting these people rest? Like, not to be an asshole, but it's like, should we really be forcing Harrison Ford to like be Indiana Jones? You know what I mean? Like, is it like, should we be putting these people in action movies? I don't know. But whatever. Alan Cumming. I actually don't know who this is. Let's see. Alan Cumming my pants. Alan Cummings. Who are you? Was he in an X-Men movie? Marvel. Or is he maybe playing... Oh, did he play... Oh, he played Nightcrawler. Interesting. Okay. Rebecca Ramjan, I think, was Mystique, right? Rebecca Ramjan Mystique. Interesting. James Marsden. Man, I will say this. I really hope that they make James Marsden a freaking badass in this. I feel like he deserves it. He deserves to have like a real shining role in this. After what they did to him, after what Fox did to my boy. Oh, Channing Tatum. Oh no, I saw this earlier. So they are bringing him back as Gambit. Interesting. I mean, I will say I don't. Now, in Channing Tatum's defense, it was a comedic movie, right? And I'm sure he was like hamming up his performance. But after watching him in Deadpool and Wolverine, I did not come out of that wanting to see more of that character. Like continuing on as Gambit in like serious X-Men movies. Because, I mean, the accent was just way too much. And to be clear, I am not calling Channing Tatum like ugly. I'm not saying he doesn't have like game or anything. But like, when I think of Gambit, I mean, to be fair, this is the only Gambit I'm familiar with. I'm thinking of like X-Men 97 Gambit. And you gotta have that aura, man. Like, you need to make me question my heterosexuality. And Channing Tatum just didn't have the Gambit aura to me, right? Like, he wasn't nearly as smooth. But again, it's entirely possible that Channing Tatum, if you put him in a serious like movie where he's playing Gambit, he's an actor. Maybe he'll bring that out of him. But I also just don't think that Channing Tatum is like looks the part. I don't know. I don't like, this is one of those things where it's like, okay, it's fan servicey, which isn't necessarily a bad thing if it works out and if it's genuinely good. But we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, Pedro Pascal makes sense. He's playing Mr. Fantastic. And Mr. Robert Downey Jr. what a goofy goober. He's a little goofy goober, teasing stuff. Avengers Doomsday now in production. So I think if I'm remembering correctly, I think when it comes to film terms, when a movie is in production, I think it means that they're filming it. So it's essentially they're now filming the movie. Is that it? That is indeed it. All right. So interesting stuff. So now the first thing that I noticed, no TV characters, like no true Disney Plus characters. Obviously, there are characters like Loki that have their own Disney Plus show. You have characters like U.S. Agent Wyatt Russell's character that was introduced in a TV show. But these are all characters that, like Tom Hiddleston, which originated in the movies, Anthony Mackie, which originated in the movies, even though he had his own Disney Plus show. Or you have a character like, what's his name again? His like actual name, Wyatt Russell's characters, John something, John Mars. No, I forget his name, but he's gonna be in Thunderbolts, so he's already been promoted into being a film character. But no Daredevil, right? No Miss Marvel. Even though Miss Marvel, she was in The Marvels. Although I will say, so it's interesting because now I'm starting to think it's like no Mark Ruffalo either. It's like you would think Mark Ruffalo would be in it. No Chris Pratt. No. Now I'm actually starting to think about this. Maybe my initial thing of just singling out no Disney Plus characters might be a little premature. Maybe a little premature. Because I feel like those guys are like, you gotta have Hulk in it, right? Right? Like, we saw at the end of Guardians 3 where they said that Star-Lord will return. Also, no Doctor Strange. Okay, this is not the entire cast. I don't believe you. I don't believe you, Marvel. Unless these characters are highlighted in Avengers Doomsday, and then some other characters. Oh yeah, also no. To be fair, Elizabeth Olsen has come out recently and said that she's not going to be in the Avengers movies. Of course, she could be lying. Oh, no Tom Holland. What is happening? Okay, there's no way that Tom Holland is not in this movie. There is no way that Tom Holland is not a prominent character in this movie. Spider-Man is, I would argue, the lead of the MC, like the face of the MCU right now. There's no way in hell that Tom Holland is not a major character in this movie. Okay, let's. This is not the entire cast. You know what? You know what I think is the case. I think that they decided to use this as an excuse to be like, let's confirm some safe characters, but also let's just go ahead and announce a bunch of like wacky characters like the Fox X-Men people, so that there isn't like a year of leaks and scoops and rumors and people harassing 85-year-old Ian McKellen asking him if he's going to be in Avengers Doomsday. Like, let's just get a lot of this out of the way. I think that's mostly what's going on here. I think they just wanted to... They're just, like, realizing, you know what? Let's minimize the harassment of some of our actors here. Because, yeah, it's like, Doctor Strange has to be in it. In fact, yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch recently came out and was like, by the way, just to be clear, I am actually going to be in these movies. In Doomsday and Secret Wars. Again, there's no way that Spider-Man is not in these movies. So, yeah. We'll see. But it could also be the case that this is like the main cast And then in the Avengers Secret Wars, those other characters that that I'm talking about that didn't show up here, maybe they'll be the main players in Secret Wars. Because there was also that those leaked concept art pictures where you had like Hulk and She-Hulk on Planet Hulk or whatever. There were like a bunch of Hulks in the background. You had like Miss Marvel and Kate Bishop and a bunch of characters in a bar and like a space bar. You had like that picture of Star-Lord and Vision together. A lot of people were saying that that was concept art for Avengers Doomsday. Maybe it was concept art for Avengers Secret Wars. It is possible. You know what I mean? So either way, we'll see. But one thing that I think we definitely can take away from this whole reveal thing is that this is going to be the real goodbye to the Fox X-Men, universe. Like, Deadpool and Wolverine was an excuse to have Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds make a Deadpool and Wolverine movie together. Doomsday and Secret Wars, I think, are going to be the movie where we actually have the core X-Men cast get their goodbye. That is going to be the true goodbye to the Fox X-Men universe, and they are going to set up whatever new X-Men characters they end up introducing after Secret Wars once the whole universe gets rebooted. So, again, can I really say that I am excited about these movies? The true answer is no, right? I have a lot of qualms. Can't stand multiverse stuff at this point. Again, if a multiverse thing is good, I'm not going to like begrudgingly not enjoy it, right? But I just don't care until I'm actually in the theater watching it and I'm like, okay, this is actually a quality movie. And the reality is that the Russo brothers have not directed a good movie since Avengers Endgame. Right? They just put out The Electric State, which, to be fair, I haven't watched that one, but I hear it's the farts. So, can't say that I'm excited. I can't say that fills me with enthusiasm. But to be fair, this is also a movie like that where like they've shown that when they work with Kevin Feige within the Marvel Studio system, that's where they thrive. So maybe or hopefully it'll turn out good. But yeah, let me know what you think about any and all of this in the comments down below, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.